It's always a beautiful thing to come back on your screens. If you are watching from your TV, watching from your phones, or listening on Spotify and other digital streaming platforms. My name is Unachi Sunday, and I'm the host. I'm hosting an important book which is titled "You Want to Be a Seafarer?" Well, like I have said over and over again, at the end of the day, I probably might join the queue, the long queue of people aspiring to become seamen and sea women in the future. I'm sitting here today discussing with the author of the book, none other but Joshua Oyetunde. He is a pastor. When I say he's a pastor, he doesn't have a church. He's a man of God. This is someone who really loves God. And if you stay with him, you will definitely catch the fire. He is a music minister and also the founder of the Nigerian Fellowship of Christian Seafarers, an organization that is geared towards bringing together seafarers from across the globe and, of course, building their faith and encouraging them in the ways of the Lord. This is perhaps a brief of what they do. So if you want to know more, you can follow him to know more about what the NFCS is really up to. But that's not the bone of contention today. What we are looking at today is to continue the conversation on the book that he has written. Of course, there is another book which I think I like to mention, Unveiling the Mysteries of the Sea. That book is a very great book that I will encourage you to get because it talks more of the spiritual aspects and it's very detailed. That book is currently selling on Seller, so go check it out and look for the name Joshua Oyetunde on those platforms. So for today's conversation, we really delved into different areas of the book. We started by talking about why you want to become a seafarer, understanding some of the basic requirements. We went through to talk about the risks that are involved, and then the career part, documentations, everything that is very key for you to start. We didn't stop on that. We finished the conversation on the female seafarers. But before that, we talked about financial intelligence, which I think is a very important aspect. That as you make money, you should be able to have the intelligence on how to spend it. All of these things are in the book from chapter 1, chapter 2, 3, and 4 have been discussed in the previous editions. Right now, we'll be discussing another chapter in the book, and it's an important conversation that affects every single human being, which is relationship. Anywhere you find yourself, you have to deal with people. How do you manage people? What are the temperaments of people? How do you navigate working peacefully with people to achieve collective goal? This is what we'll be looking at on this edition, work relationship. You have been in the sea for well over 19 years. What is the work relationship like? Meeting people of diverse culture, personality, and interest in the ship.
All right. Work relationship. I believe that my definition of work relationship is a relationship that you have as a result of work. If not for work, you won't have that relationship.
Right.
So the basis for that relationship is your work, and that relationship will thrive or fail based on how you do your work. There are many people I've said with that I don't even have their contact. I don't even have their phone number because what brought us together for that purpose was just a job. And as long as we do the job, you and I, we are good. The only time we'll be having problem is if you don't do your job very well. So that kind of relationship, it thrives.
Yeah.
It rises and falls on how well you do your job.
Right.
You are my friend, you are my close pal when you do the job well.
Right.
And when you don't do the job well, you are not my friend.
People often have issues with leaders within work environment that enforces good work ethics, that wants to see their subordinates do their job well. Like you have said, there are people you don't even have their contact. What matters to you is the job. How do you navigate people who don't seem to understand that your concern is for the job? They feel they are being attacked as a person.
Okay, and this is where I will encourage, and we talked about this in the book too. You have to understand people's temperament, understand people's disposition. You understand? This goes a long way in helping you. Otherwise, as a subordinate, you're going to have headache. And as a superior too, you're going to have a tough time if you don't understand temperament. You understand? The disposition of everyone to work is different. Some people just feel like, let's take it easy, let's take it calm. And some people just like, we have to finish this job now. You understand? So if you don't understand temperament, you will take... I believe that our 75% of issues we have with people is not because of the issue at hand, it's actually because of the personality. Behind that person is a personality, that temperament which defines how they act, how they respond, how they act. Most of the time we leave the issues at hand, we focus on how the people do or what's the certain thing they do. So as leader, these are the things. This is one thing that I have come to learn. So I basically study the temperament of people. So when I come on board, I look at my junior, the people that I'm going to be working with, and I look at their temperament. The occasion I'll be talking to the chief engineer, I will say, if it is that job, this is the guy that you should give that job to. If it is this one, this is the person you should give this one to. If it's this one, and that in itself avoid conflict.
Right.
Because my failure to understand the temperament of that guy, if I put that guy on that job, it's going to get me to that point. Why have you not done this thing? And that's what we should avoid. If you are going to be on board for 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, you want a smooth relationship. So if I need somebody to do a monitoring job, there's somebody that I know that this is his expertise. If there's a breakdown, I know somebody that I'm going to put. There's a breakdown. I need somebody who can think quickly, who can think fast, who can think out of the box. If there's something that is a routine, there's somebody that is good for that. Why will I switch them? The only reason somebody will switch them is because he doesn't understand temperament. And now we're not having problem with subordinates. You'll be having problem with your colleagues. And that problem is not necessarily because of what they did, it's because of how they did it. And that shouldn't be the last thing that will be causing an argument on the ship.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow. So I don't know if we have to break down these temperaments. However, you've explained identifying the strength of each person and giving them the job, as it were. But let's take a flip. If your subordinates don't seem to understand your own temperament, or let me put it this way, how should subordinates understand the temperament of their leader? Because what you've explained is the leader to the subordinate. How about the subordinate to the leaders? Because most of the times there seems to be a clash in understanding the temperament of who is leading.
Okay, so one of the things that I do, I think that employers should put this in their whatever induction package that they do. So let's not just do jobs alone. This is an essential part. Because our temperament literally affects everything we do. And if we don't understand this, we'll be having issues. In fact, work relationship on board can be affected, and we can lose money. Company as a whole can lose money. Okay, we've had history of that in the past. You read report where because people didn't get along well, and something happened, and they lost money. Company lost money. It led to detention of ship. It led to accident. It led to, just because we don't understand temperament, it can lead to accident. So this is very, very important. But like I said, as you grow, the other time we were talking about levels of responsibilities.
Yes.
And we talk about that managerial level. The management level. So even if the subordinate doesn't understand, if the supporting level doesn't understand, the operational level doesn't understand, it is a responsibility. Responsibility places a demand on those on the management level to know what temperament is about. All right? It places responsibility on them to know, to understand what temperament is about, so that in managing the people, you know the best way to manage people. Again, like I said, is 4 months, 5 months, 6 months is a long time for you to be frustrated with one person.
Apparently, very frustrating.
You understand? So we must learn that. So my advice would be for those running in the industry, companies, and those employees, Seafarer, once people get to that level, management level, don't just send them for courses and all those. This temperament thing should be a core model. And maybe later on we'll talk about different temperament, and I will show you instances and how they work, and how each one of them can actually, you can have an accident. You can literally have issues.
I think we should look at those different temperaments.
All right. So, I mean, for example, there is no one. We have major 4 temperaments,
Yes,
and there is
yeah.
no one that is completely 100% one.
Yeah.
But you will see that there is one that is most predominant in a person. All right. So we have choleric.
Yeah.
And choleric people are these people that normally they appear to be bosses. You can call them natural leaders. All right. They love to be in charge. They are job defined. They want to do. Have you finished that thing? Have you finished that thing? They will be an excellent project manager. All right. They are fast. They are spontaneous. They like this. They want everything to be done. And as a matter of fact, most times they might appear to be rude in their disposition. In fact, you might think that a choleric person actually prefers the job more than the people.
Right.
In fact, you might think that a choleric person use people to get the job done. All right. So if you are not patient with a choleric person, you'll be on this part
Always
collision
clashing.
because his job is why have you not finished it? Why have you not finished it? You want it done. You want it done. They will be excellent project coordinator in a situation where everything is fast. A choleric is that's just a choleric for you. So why have you not finished that job? That job ought to have been finished. That's a choleric for you. Okay? Then you have a guy who is a sanguine. This one, a choleric is job-oriented kind of person, task-oriented person. But then you have a choleric who is
A sanguine.
a sanguine talks. They talk plenty. You understand? The time they are supposed to use to do the work,
They are talking.
they talk. All right? They talk. They love people. They have this thing with relationships. You understand? They are fast. They are spontaneous too. They talk. They are fast. They are spontaneous. They think out of the box. They think out of the box faster, and they love the applause. They are the kind of people that maybe they post something on social media, the likes, the comment, those things freaks them because they love the fact that they are getting engagement, they are getting noticed by people. So that's a sanguine for you. They are fast, but they don't pay attention to details. Okay? So if you need a job that is fast, you may want to think a choleric or a sanguine. All right? But a sanguine doesn't pay attention to detail. A choleric, on the other hand, he will appear to be rude.
But pays attention to details.
He misses out, but the thing is, the job is done, and the job is delivered in time.
Yeah.
You understand? Then we have the phlegmatic people. These are the stabilizers. Right? Phlegmatic people, they are stabilizers. They love the routine. And essentially, that's what keeps our organization running. If you are running a big organization, there are people that will be doing the routine. Okay, there are people that are going to be frontiers, they are going to be pioneering stuff, but the phlegmatic people are kind of stabilizers. So they love doing the routine. So if something out of the ordinary just happened now, and you interrupt their routine, they'll be like, what's going on? They hate it.
Yeah.
So in a situation on the ship where you have something urgent, emergency happen, and you call a phlegmatic into that kind of situation, they are lost.
Take forever.
You understand? They are lost. They are trying to boot. What is going on? What is going on? They don't fit in. You understand? And then you have, they too, they are relationship-oriented kind of people. They love relationship. They love people. They love all. They are stabilizer. They literally love routine. So if you have anything routine stuff, you want them to monitor, they will do it well. But that you interrupt their sequence like that, they take time to process. Then you have the melancholic. Melancholic pay attention to details. They are slow, pay attention to detail, but they are job-oriented. So they will pay attention to detail, they will spend more time on it, but they will pay attention to detail. Do you understand? So what will happen now is that a boss who is choleric, you want it done now. A sanguine who is fast, we have a problem with a choleric and with
melancholic person.
My friend, you are still on that job. You have not finished. Since when? How many days will it take you to do that kind of job? You understand? And before you know it, you start having issues. So, for example, and if a subordinate who is choleric find himself under somebody that is melancholic, he will look as if he wants to take authority from the guy that is melancholic or the guy that is a phlegmatic person. So the phlegmatic person can be thinking that this choleric person, my friend, do you want to take my job now? You know, and so you see the clash of this thing. But if you understand that this is temperament, no matter how the guy does, so this guy now, you say, that guy is rude. That guy is so rude. You will not even want to have anything to do with him.
Yeah.
And that's not because the guy is just his temperament.
His temperament.
So now, when you understand temperament now, you will focus on the message instead of the messenger. You focus on the content instead of the container. But if you don't understand this, we are going to miss it and you're going to be fight. So the responsibility is not laid more. Back to your question, the responsibility is not laid more on the junior or subordinates to understand that it is your job at that level, managerial level, management level, to be able to know, okay, this is this guy, this is this guy. I've used it a lot. I've used it. This is what I've done. I mean, for me to write about it, I'm not just this is what I've done, and I've seen people have understood the temperament. If I'm having in the engine room, I can say, based on what I've done, if I have anything, I'll say, you stay here, you go and do that one, and there'll be no issue.
Wow.
There'll be no issue.
Wow. But it's for me, paying attention to the temperament of people is an entire job of its own, because for an effective running of any business or organization, if you can define people's temperament, as it were, there will be little or no issues in terms of deliverables. But that does not exempt the fact that issues will still come up, because temperament does exist.
Yeah.
Right?
So like I said now, it doesn't mean that there's no temperament that is perfect. You understand?
Right. Yes.
So issue will still exist. But then if you understand the temperament, and every leader understands temperament, for example, there's a guy who tends to be rude, a choleric person. So if you understand his temperament, he can suppress it. He can learn to be polite. He can learn to prioritize people. The guy who is a sanguine, who tends to forget things, can be going around with a notepad. All right? He can be going around with notepad to write, okay, to-do list, this thing I'm going to do, this. So you can work on the weaknesses of each temperament. You as a person, okay, you notice that you are a sanguine, you can work on the weaknesses of that temperament, because a sanguine doesn't pay attention to detail. All right? So you can now, okay, you just have a notepad, somebody mentions something, you just write it down so that you don't forget. Then the guy who is a phlegmatic, you always know that he must, there are certain things he must do, to-do list. I must do this today, I must do this, so I must finish this. Then the guy who is melancholic, that pays all the attention in the world today, knows that he doesn't have time. We don't have time. So you have to learn to work with time. Okay, so this one, I'm going to do this today, I'm going to do it within 10 minutes. This one, I'm going to do this, I have to do it within 20 minutes. This one, I have to do it no more than 30 minutes. So when you understand that, you yourself, you save yourself from the stress. And if somebody being your leader, for example, speak to you rudely, being a choleric, since you understand temperament, you will not take it personally.
Yeah.
It's just a temperament.
Right.
You understand?
Well, since we're still talking about relationship, we talked about the female relationship with the male, you know, and all of that. I want us to talk about tips for romantic relationship.
All right. You know, so the issue is, there are two types of relationship. That was why we captured it in this book. There are two types of relationship that affect you as a seafarer. Because every man is a social being. And your relationship, whether it's work relationship or romantic relationship, as the case may be, can actually affect how you do your job. There have been accidents that happen as a result of what is happening with your relationship, either romantic relationship or even relationship with your family, the normal family at home. You understand? I'll give you an example. There was a time that I had a disagreement with my dad. And we didn't resolve the issue before we sailed. And so I was on duty that night. I was going around the engine room doing my round. There was something I was supposed to do. So as I was doing the stuff, my mind now went to the argument that we had. So I forgot that I didn't follow the thing that I was supposed to do. I didn't see it through. The next thing as I step out of the fuel room, I don't want to go into the details so that I won't lose you. You know, so as I step out of the fuel room, I just say, psst, psst, psst. And what happened? The boilers that were using to power the ship, the boiler just went off.
Wow.
Because the fuel line, I walked on the fuel line. So, and I didn't close all the valves as I was supposed to close it. Psh, psh, psh. Before you know, by the time I go back, so immediately I heard that sound, I knew what it meant. I quickly went back to the fuel room. I adjusted the valve back. By the time I get back to the control room, only one boiler was remaining with one fire on it.
Wow.
So imagine the vessel was in a tight condition. Maybe it was in a traffic. It has lost the power. You understand? It has lost the power. You know, so that's our relationship. I mean, somebody there will say, why did this happen? Why did this happen? But it's me that I know what exactly happened because my mind just drifted. I've done that in countless times. It's not that wasn't my first time. So you see, relationship. When my first trip as a cadet on board, I was inside an elevator and I see this second cook. And second cook was like, Oga, why is your face like this? Why are you looking like this? You are not looking bright. The next thing he says, that stupid woman now, I don't know what she's doing at home. That was what he told me.
Wow.
That was what he told me. As in, that's our relationship. So now imagine that guy now is the one that is going to cook for us. So imagine.
I don't want to say what I'm thinking.
Don't say it. So he's the one that is going to cook for us. So the one where he's supposed to put salt, he will put sugar. You know, that's
actually him being fair. Imagine he goes and fetch a chemical and put inside the pot.
So as a seafarer,
yeah.
So you know that relationship affects everything.
Actually,
it affects everything. So then the aspect of your romantic relationship is a major issue. We talk about work relationship. So your romantic relationship, the relationship with your spouse, it's actually a lot that with time will not even permit us to go into all the details. I will just mention that if you are first and foremost, have a vision. Have a vision. Vision is everything. Have a vision. Where you are going as a young man. I've had people, younger colleagues, junior colleagues meet me and say, and talk about relationship. The first question I asked one of them when he came to me, what's your vision? Because your vision of where you are going your vision helps to streamline the kind of lady you even talk to start with. You understand? When you have a vision, you see where you are going. You know that this lady is not the one to go with. You have already saved yourself from some heartache to start with. I was in a relationship before I met my wife, but this person said, it's not like I don't like you, but this is your job. I know, say, no, God has something for me where I am. So if you're having a problem with my job, then sorry, they definitely we are not supposed to be together. You understand? So if you don't have a vision of where you are going, you settle with the wrong person, and that will be the beginning of your pain. And so you'll be at work, your mind will not be on the job. And like I said, we work in an hazardous environment.
Right.
Okay, so you don't want to now lose your life or lose your hand or lose your legs simply because you're having issues at home. You want to be, when you are there, you want to be there. And that's why I always praise the seafarers' wives, the one that has really, really been helpful to their husband to advance in their career.
Wow.
You understand? So you must have a vision. The vision will help you to streamline where you are heading and who you are going to settle with. And of course, pray to God. If you are a Christian and if you are a Muslim, whatever it is you believe in, pray that the Lord give you a good wife. You understand? That will understand you.
Right.
You know, and while we're still on it, I think I should address this. It's been on my heart for a while. You hear many preachers and say things like, what kind of horrible job are you doing that you leave your wife for 3 months, that you leave your wife for 4 months, that you leave your wife for 6 months? Sometimes it's as if they didn't know that there's a job called seafaring job. Because in the days of Solomon, these people sail ship that in the days of Solomon, this ship goes away for 3 years before they come back. So I don't know where they got that from. So what the Bible promised, actually, what God promised Adam was, I will make for him a woman who is adaptable, suitable, and complementary to him. That's in the book of Genesis. All right. So God promised to make this, and that God is still in the business of doing that. You understand? To give you a wife that is suitable for what, if this job is what you are meant to do, he will give you a wife that is suitable to that will complement you, you know, and that is adaptable to your specific design and purpose. You understand? So that's why it's important for you having a vision, and then of course pray, you know, so that you get it right in that area. And of course, when you are at home, not only that, for seafarers, you must build emotional intimacy. All right? Okay, emotional intimacy. I'm allowed to go into that, right?
Yeah, sure. Yes. Because, of course, we're talking about relationships. So,
all right. So, emotional intimacy is very, very important. I don't know if you have heard story of people who are in, they didn't, maybe a boy and a girl, a lady and a man, they didn't promise each other they are going to get married to each other, but they are just good friends. They talk a lot. And when this guy now tell this lady, I'm getting married, the lady now felt so bad. Why do you think so? It's simply because there was a form of emotional intimacy. And the most, which tells you that emotional intimacy is actually stronger than sexual intimacy. All right? Emotional intimacy can exist between friends. Emotional intimacy can exist between literally anybody without having anything to do with sexual intimacy. All right? No matter whatever you do, no matter the marriage you have, if you don't have emotional intimacy and all you have is physical intimacy, it's just punishment.
Right.
Frustration.
Yeah.
You understand? So emotional intimacy is the bond that keeps marriage glued. You understand? And it's important that as a seafarer, you should do that. We should build that. Invest in building emotional intimacy. All right? So, and part of the things you can do as a seafarer is when you are at home, please be at home. Spend quality time with them. Spend quality time with your spouse. You understand? So not like you have gone away, you have traveled for months, and now you are at home, you are still traveling. Are you okay? If you are going to travel, my recommendation, if you are going to be traveling around, then go with your spouse. You understand? If you desire to, you are just, there are some people that just can't stay in one place.
They like to explore.
They just like to explore. But if you are going to be going like that, then go with your spouse. You understand? So at the end of the day, you don't lose your home. You understand? So it's very, very important. When you are at home, please be with them. If you are with them, be with them. Not that they are saying something, you are playing video game, and you others. Give them attention. Give your spouse attention. Heart-to-heart discussion. That's not the time. If you have to off TV, off your phone, or whatever it is, do that. You understand? And in building emotional intimacy, there are some things that breaks it. I mean, or maybe I should say, maybe some people don't know. Emotional intimacy basically means your openness. The degree of openness that I have with my spouse, without the fear of resentment, without the fear of being judged. You know, I can be open to you. So part of the thing is spend time together. That's where it starts from. Spend time, and of course, talk plenty. You know, and one of the things that comes in the way, a lot of things can affect your emotional intimacy. One of them that can affect is actually children.
Right. That's major, right. Actually.
Children can actually affect your emotional intimacy.
Yeah.
So I always, like I said, so you have to, that season when the baby comes in, it was just you and your wife before. And before you know, your baby comes in, and the next thing, before you say Jack Robinson, even in pictures, you put the baby in between, you put the wife here, or you want to sleep, the baby is in the middle between you and your wife. My friend, get the baby to somewhere else. Get the baby to a cot. You understand? Right. So these are the things that, because didn't you see in the Bible? You see a place where the Bible says Abraham and Sarah, they were playing. All right? They were playing. But as soon as they have Isaac, Abraham was just carrying Isaac. He wasn't carrying Sarah again. So, right. You know, so you won't see that account again. So it's very, very important. Children, a lot of things can break emotional intimacy, but children is one of them. Right. You know, and you have to be careful in that area. Build emotional intimacy, and another way to build is the use of word sorry, the use of word I love you, the use of word affirmative please. You know, if you use those words well in your relationship, you are going to make headway. You understand? So we must strive to build emotional intimacy. That one is you can't take that away. If you really, really want your home to last, because the things that keep marriage is not sexual intimacy.
Yes.
It's emotional intimacy. If it is sexual intimacy that bond couple, then prostitutes shouldn't have a job. You understand? They should. Right. They shouldn't have a.
Except they want to bond with different people.
Exactly. Do you understand? So that's to tell you that it's not physical intimacy that actually bond people. It's the emotional intimacy that bonds people together. So spend time, create a time after close of work, even while you're on board, speak to your spouse, have plenty of time to talk, and when you're at home, talk. And you yourself, be deliberately in opening up. All right? Show your partner that you are vulnerable. Let it be that there's nothing you cannot talk about. If it's worth talking about, be vulnerable. That's what so if this guy can be open, so that this guy trusts me. And trust begets trust. Well, the whole essence of emotional intimacy is trust. You understand? So we must invest in that. Okay?
this is more than just if you want to be a seafarer, right? It's if a relationship class already. So I'm pretty sure a lot of us are learning from this, and we've been discussing "So You Want to Be a Seafarer," a book by Joshua Oyetunde, and he's been dissecting details of the book. Some things time will not allow us to explicitly say some of those things, but the way it is, go get the book so you can read more in detail what it is. So on this particular topic, I would like us to look at the basic amenities for family, support system for your family, and spousal developments.
Okay. So for a seafarer, you need to. The reason why this is important again is not that everybody should have this. It doesn't matter whether you're a seafarer or not. Irrespective of what you are doing, everybody should have it. However, as a seaman, you are not going to be at home. You understand? For you now, you can come back and just leave house in the morning and come back in the evening, and everything is all right. But you as a seafarer, you don't get to
you don't have the day-to-day kind of lifestyle.
So you are at sea, you are far away. So you need to place premium on ensuring that your family has that basic amenities. Because if they don't have it, it might affect your job. Or let's talk about house. Your family should, if you have not built your home, the place you are renting should be in a good place, a good location where you will not be having issue of, hey, armed robber came yesterday. You understand? Or not in the area, they've packed my stuff. You understand? So these things, because ultimately this thing will affect the way you do your work at work. We have had situations, we have heard stories of people jumping overboard, committing suicide. Okay, so this is not new. We have had instances of that. People who had issues with their at home and all that stuff. People jump overboard. So it's not like it's new stuff. Do you understand? So it's important that you do all those things. So basic amenities, United Nations defines some basic amenities, essentials that human being needs to have. You have house in a good neighborhood. That's one you should have. Clothing is another one. For your children, if you have children, you should have good clothing for yourself, for your children. Because when your children don't wear good clothing, they get exposed to the prevailing, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
Then you start having to say, oh, they are catching cold, they are doing all those things. And then you are there, and then you are not at home. Every little news, you are already shaken because of what? Basically, because you don't have clothes for the children. All right? And not to mention that clothes affects children's esteem as well. The way you dress affects your self-esteem. You understand? And not to mention the fact that the people that bullies in school, they look out for children who are not well dressed and all that, and they start bullying them.
Yeah.
You understand? So you are subjecting your children to stuff because you fail to take care of that. You know, not to talk about health, medical insurance. Those are the little things a seafarer should put in place. So you are going to be walking away from your family. You know, medical insurance should be in place for your children so that in case they are not, you are not available, your wife can take them to the hospital and all that and have access to medical. I mean, they can take care of themselves. Those are just basic things.
Yes.
You should have in place, you know, for a seafarer.
The family. You talked about spousal support, spousal development.
Yeah.
What was
okay?
that?
Okay. These are basically in terms of supporting your spouse. Spousal support basically means the support system. We talk about support system that you need to have in place. All right. You are going to be away. Your family is going to be alone. So your wife, I mean, most seafarers' wives that I know, they literally have become everything. They are the daddy, they are the mommy, they are the one who start generator. They literally learn to do everything. And that's a lot for them. That's a lot for many women. So you should create a support system for your wife or your spouse, as the case may be. If you are the wife that is on board and your husband is at home, create a support system. Yeah. So there is need to create a support system. And such support system include the things that will make their life easier. You understand? One support system is a car. You understand? So one support system is a car. It's not a luxury. It's a car. So they need to have a car to be able to move from one place to another. Ensure that your wife knows how to drive.
Wow.
Okay, as a seafarer, ensure that your wife knows how to drive. And if he doesn't know how to drive, that means you must have somebody in the house who knows how to drive. Okay, that's one of the support system. A good support system will be that your families, your in-law. There are occasions where your wife needs something. Definitely, she just needed somebody. Your in-law could be a support system for you. You understand? You go, okay, it's a bit stressful for you. Okay, just go and drop the kids at my parents' house, and so that you can rest. You know, you don't want to stress that woman and just let the stress will now
start taking a toll
on
health.
her. So you can just go and stay, just go and, that's a support system. It could be a family friend. Just go and play with so and so. Go and rest. In some cases, it could be a church member. Okay? And that's one good thing I like about the fact that if you're a Christian, it doesn't matter where you find yourself. If you find yourself in the midst of the children of God, you just click and you just bond. You understand? You just click and you just bond. So your church member at that point can be a support system. There are many times that my wife, I would just say, at sea, I didn't hear from my wife.
Wow.
Maybe something happened to her phone. I couldn't reach her. All I need to do is to call a church member that is close to my house. Can you please help me check on my wife? I've not heard from her today. So we need that support system. Otherwise, just imagine I couldn't reach my wife and there's nobody I could call. How will I be able to do the job? And like I said, everybody has his own role to fill on the ship. It's not like we are shifting. Everybody is doing everybody's job. No. You understand? So these are major. A nanny. All right? A nanny could be a support system. You have a nanny, and if you can't have a nanny, you can, if you want, you can say a family member should come and live with you. You know? So these are support systems that a seafarer's spouse needs. So you must make adequate preparation for all these things because you are not going to be there. And if you're having a house help or something, you have their contacts so that you can reach out to them.
Yeah.
You understand? And they can reach out to you too in case of anything. So support system is very, very important.
Well, it's so good to hear all of this. I am an advocate of spousal development and support for whatever reason, especially if you are not a spouse that is actively available. You should be able to provide what is needed to fill in the gap. And beyond financial provision, you did mention emotional intimacy. That is very fundamental. And I want to encourage those of you watching to ensure that you get the book so you can read in details. Some of these things are sort of abridged so that you can understand the passion for which this book was written. If you're an intending seafarer or already a seafarer, it's a book for everyone, existing and new. So make sure you get the book.
And the good thing about this is the book it's more like a manual. So
exactly.
Even as you grow, there are certain things, if you are coming in right now, it will not make sense.
Yeah.
But as you grow on the job, you do, this thing now makes sense. It's the appropriate time. So it's a book you're actually going to need, not just for a starter, even as you progress in the career. I mean, if you are just coming in, you are not married yet, that area may not make sense.
It won't.
But by the time you get married,
that's what he said, you know, and like you also said, there are people perhaps that are already there, particularly the financial intelligence.
Yeah.
It probably will also help you to,
Yeah.
Build on something that I think is important. So in wrapping up this whole book,
I think before we wrap up, let's talk about this spousal development because it's something that is very, very important to see.
Okay. Yes, please talk about it.
Now, so spousal development is very, very important. You know, because of the nature I've seen, because of the privilege that I have to be the founder of NFCS, and we, by the grace of God, we founded Nigerian Fellowship of Christian Seafarers' Wives as well.
Okay.
You understand? So, which my wife too has the privilege of leading them, So she, from my experience as their leader, my experience as a leader, we're able to have what you can call a compendium of what a average seafarer's life looks like. And so you see a seafarer who is working and he will decide that his wife should not work, because he will just be giving the wife money. We have seen that. All right. So my advice in this area is, except that's what the woman actually opted for, let her work. All right. Some seafarer will just say the wife should just be a full-time housewife. Some people want that, especially in this our area. She be a full-time housewife. No. Except if that's what she opted for. Don't let her be full-time housewife, because they feel like since they are not at home, the children will need somebody to absolutely take care of them. What I would recommend is that let the wife do something that will not take her away. You understand? So that, after the kids have gone to school, she can do something. And when they come back, or you can set her up to do something at home. Okay? She just leave it and go. She can be working from home, whatever it is. Because if it's a woman that is productive and she's full of energy, and you are not letting her use that energy cannot be created or destroyed, but can be changed from one form to another. That energy will be used to attack you. All right? That energy has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And that energy can be spent on making your life miserable. And the things that shouldn't be an issue will become issue. You didn't come in since morning. I've been at home. That's because she's not busy. Because if she's busy, you will not have issue. Hey, so you didn't call us since morning. That won't be an issue because she's not busy. So let her work. Let her use that energy somewhere else. Otherwise, that energy will come and haunt you. You understand? So let her work. Most importantly is that working is not just about earning salary. Working is about stroking your creativity.
Right.
So when you say a woman should not work, you are killing her creativity. So let her work. You understand? In most cases, seafarers are looking for, I'm looking for business. Which investment will I do now? Your wife is a good place to invest in. You're right? What is your wife's passion? We are talking about a business, or how will I monitor a business? One good person that you can trust to monitor your business is your wife. If you get it right there, though.
Yes.
You
I'm glad that you corrected that.
You understand? So one good thing is that you can look at your wife's passion. What is her passion? You understand? What is he good at? You can invest in it, and that thing will become your joint business. Do you understand? Invest in your wife's passion. If you are bringing in bread, if she brings in akara, wouldn't that be good?
A good mixture.
A good mixture. You understand? So invest in her passion.
Yeah.
What is it she's good at? Sometimes I've seen seafarers who decided that, I'm going to set up something for my wife. They now decided to just go and open something, start a business, something that the wife is not the strength of the wife. It's not in her passion. At the end of the day, the thing folded up. So, and in setting up for your wife, one of the things you must realize that in setting up, before you set up for her, now you know her passion. Can you please train her? If she has to go for training, if she has to go for seminar on that particular thing, let her go for it. The Bible says wisdom is the principal thing. And when we were in secondary school, they taught us about principal, rates, interest, and time, and all those stuff. And you know that if you don't have principal, and you start, if you don't have principal invested in the bank, if you come back after 100 years, the interest you will have accumulated will still be zero.
Absolutely.
And the Bible says wisdom is the principal thing. So the first thing to do is not to give your wife money to go and start a business. Ensure our wisdom level, ensure our knowledge and understanding level in that particular thing before you put money. And when you're going to give her money to do that thing, don't give big money to start with. Start with a small one. All right? So when she has, what I mean small now, small is relative.
Yeah.
Small means something that if you lose it, it's not going to pain you. All right? You don't want to, because you set up your wife, she now did the business, and she now failed. That's not the reason you are now having wahala in your marriage. You understand? So the thing we are trying to run away from, we are now walking into it. So you start from something that if eventually she lose it, or you get to lose it. I mean, every business have that stage where you lose something, right?
Yeah.
It has. So you want to start with something small that you know that if eventually you lose this, it won't affect you. It won't affect your relationship in any way. So we must start from that, and once you empower your wife in that area, she brings in something for you. Right. I mean, even if not for you, even if she brings it for herself, it's something. They say when you give to a man, you give to a person, but when you give to a woman, you give to a community.
Right.
You understand? There are times that I've given the things that I've given to my wife. Even money, my wife, at the end of the day, she will use it to buy something for me. She will use it to buy things for the children.
Right.
You understand? Right. So imagine you now empowering her. So imagine how much you'll be able to do. Okay, so that is why I say spousal development is very, very important. Instead of looking for somebody to monitor your investment here and there, your wife is a good person to place. Just look for the passion of the wife and invest in it. It may not necessarily be your own area of passion. What's the purpose of you having the passion and you can't still execute it? You understand? So go for what your wife has passion in, and you can be your own breakthrough as well.
You have heard from the horse's mouth. It's not my mouth. Like he said, if you bring bread and your wife brings akara, that's a good combination. It's a major meal, breakfast for a lot of us. So it's good to invest in your wife, because if you do so, you're also helping to, strongly root yourself downwards, and it helps a whole lot. So, in wrapping up the entire book, we've run down from chapter 1 to chapter 5, and it's been an interesting one. So we have just the last one to go, and I think it's been interesting. If you've learned anything all through the various episodes, it would be nice to get a feedback from you, because this will encourage us to keep doing this. And beyond the book, we can continue a series that will educate seafarers and intending seafarers as well. But all of this also depends on the feedback we get from you. Encourage us to do more by liking this video, commenting, sharing, and following the page, this YouTube channel, I mean to say. So, to wrap up, if you've said all these beautiful things, and then you did give example of accident, you said you work in a hazardous environment.
Yeah.
Let's talk about safety, health, and the well-being for seafarers. Reasons for taking responsibility for your health. Let's talk about health, safety, and well-being.
All right. So there are lots of everybody knows, or everyone should look after his own health, his or her health. For a seafarer is a major issue. You understand? It's a major topic of discussion, because without that, let's start from the fact that you are in the middle of nowhere. So you are in the middle of sea. So if something happens to you, there is no immediate help. All right? So this is why you need to pay attention to your health. There is no immediate help anywhere. Somebody can be sick now, and before you could get to the nearest spot, it could be in days. You understand? So it's very, very important. Again, they said you are what you eat, so to say. So you find yourself on the ship for 10 months in a year. So you see that the ship environment is actually affecting your health, because what you are going to be eating is on the ship. You understand? So you have to pay attention to all those things, because these are the things that will eventually determine how your health will turn out to be. You understand? The hazardous nature of the ship is actually another thing. You understand? And most importantly is that if you are not medically fit, if anything happens to you, you are out of the job. You understand? So basically, your source of livelihood ends if you are not paying attention to your health. So that basically those are immediate help is not available. You understand? Immediate help is not available for anything. And even if immediate help is available in some cases, you don't have a doctor on board. All right? By regulation, you only have a doctor on board if the ship carries more. You are required to have a doctor on board if the ship carries more than 100 persons. If you carry less, what you need to have is a medical officer who is just an ordinary seafarer like you. He just learned one or two things. So, we need to do surgery now. Sorry, that's not on board. You can't do it.
Wow.
You understand? So you need to pay attention to your health. You need to pay attention to your safety. You need to pay attention to your well-being, your fitness, and all that. So you need to pay attention to it. The moment anything happens to your health, you're as good as, not working at sea.
Wow. Okay, let's take a quick dive into reasons why you need to take responsibility for your health. Having explained most of these incidents that can happen, and knowing fully well that you do not have a medical personnel on board, aside the first aid, training and all of the CPR and perhaps all of the basic things that you've been taught. As a seafarer, what are the basic reasons why you should. I know someone will say, well, for me to be alive, I want you to say it the way you've written it, the reasons why you should take responsibility for your health.
All right.
While on board.
I mean, I think we probably have hammered on that.
Yes, we have.
The point is the ship is an hazardous environment. Statistically, many people have. I mean, I want to read something for you here. For example, the ship is an hazardous place, and working on the ship is a high-risk job. From deck to engine room, galley, cargo tanks, and holds, and even to navigational beach, there are hazards everywhere. For instance, a study conducted on the British merchant fleet reported that between 2003 and 2012, the fatal accident rate in shipping was 21 times higher than that in the general British workforce.
Wow.
4.7 times higher than that in the construction industry, and 13 times higher than in manufacturing. All right. Fatal occupational accidents in Danish seafarers on board ships were 11.5 times higher than Danish male worker ashore. Moreover, seafarers working on board British merchant ship had 23.9 times higher risk of mortality due to accident at work than all workers in Great Britain. The risk of death is 25 times higher for maritime transport than for air transport, according to the death account for every 100 kilometers. Hence, the need for you to take responsibility. You see that the fatality rate is not something to joke with. You understand? So it demands you to be safety conscious. So it is not an environment you are just going to mess around. You understand? So it's an hazardous environment. Like I said the other day, I was telling you that things are not stable. So here now, everything is stable, everything is steady. So I can place something here, and it's just at the edge. If you try that on the ship, the next thing you hear, once the ship rolls, that thing will just fall down. If it falls down, it can fall on you.
Wow.
You understand? Items that normally you won't have to worry about. If you are lifting something at home, it just lifts like this, right? And we bring it down. But if you are going to do that same job on the ship, this job, lifting, like, you may not need more than 2 people if you are to be on the land. But if you are going to do that same job on the ship at sea, you might need like 4, 5, 6 people to do it. Why? Because the ship movement is affecting it. So you need to pay. Ship's environment is actually not an environment where you are going to just be you just lose awareness of yourself. All right? It's very, very dangerous environment, and you need to pay attention. And just like I mentioned, the fatality rate is something. Injury rate is a major concern.
High.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now that we understand the risk that is literally involved, if you slack by any means, you might end up injuring yourself and then suffering a lot of pain. Are there ailments that are prevalent, among seafarers? You gave an example in one of our episodes where you said during the COVID, someone either went ashore and then came back and literally infected everyone with COVID. Beyond that, are there other ailments? Because knowing fully whether you are, perhaps you can be in a ship for like 4 months, 5 months, 10 months. What are the ailments that are prevalent there?
There are a couple of ailments that are peculiar to seafaring. For a starter, you can have musculoskeletal disorder. You understand? Basically, it affects your body frame.
Okay.
You understand? So, for example, if you are doing a job in an awkward position for a long time, you subject yourself to awkward position.
Okay.
It might affect your body shape.
Yes.
You understand? So that's one thing. I mean, a lot of people, back pain, body pain, joint pain. You understand? You are opening a valve and all that. There are big valves that you need to open, and once you open, if you have not exercised your body for a long time, once you open, you just hear your back do snap. You understand?
I'm trying to imagine.
You understand?
I do.
Your back will just snap. You start having pain, and before you know it, it just get deformed one way or the other. Musculoskeletal disorder is one of those things. It's very, very prevalent. Hearing loss is another one.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have worked in the engine room is not a place where you walk through and you go with it like this. You have to wear hair defender, and you have been subjected to that environment for a long time. You can begin to lose an average, and you can become over time. If you are an engineer, over time you can become loud. If you have been ignoring, if you have not been using all your safety gears and all that, you can become very loud. It's small thing at home. You are used to making. You are used to increasing. Every time people at home will be telling you, "Oh, God, turn this thing down, bring the volume down, bring the volume down," and to you, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Because you are already used to the noise.
Yeah. Yes.
You understand? So this happens to not only people in the engine room, even the people on deck too. If you are on deck for a long time and you have been exposed to the noise, sea noise, that noise, it's all the breeze blowing. So that breeze could be deafening sometimes.
Wow.
You understand? So if you are exposed to that, that's why you see many times when people walk on board, on deck, they will wear something to cover their ears. You understand? Or if we were to be in the engine room, we use hair plug.
Okay.
Or hair defender, as the case may be. We use hair plug, we use hair defender, just to limit that noise.
The noise
and so it's important for you as seafarers to protect yourself in this regard, because ultimately, if you lose your hair, you will not pass your hair engine, you will not pass your medical exams. And once you fail your medical exam, you're out of job. You understand? So that's one of those issues that you can have at sea. Of course, you can have vision problem as well.
Okay.
Vision problem basically when something, if you have particles everywhere, dust, you have items flying up and down. You understand? If it enters your eyes, maybe you are chipping. If it enters your eyes, a lot. Basically, we see as seafarers, part of the body that gets exposed to injury most, your hand, your eyes, and your leg. The hand is much more prevalent because you literally put your hand everywhere. Then the eyes, and then of course your leg. Those are the body parts. So you can have issue with your vision.
Okay.
You understand? That's just a mental view. You can even have cardiovascular issues. Okay, because one of the challenge you have at sea is sleep. Your sleep pattern being disrupted. So you may not have adequate sleep. For example, we have people who are keeping watches. So for the guy that is keeping watches now, he's keeping watch. Maybe his watch is to be 12 every day of his life for the whole of that 6 months that is on board, or 4 months or 5 months, as the case may be. He's waking up 12 to 4, 12 to 4, 12 to 4, and you know what that does to your body. You are supposed to be sleeping as at that time. So that guy that is doing 12 to watch, we call that 12 to watch devil's watch. All right, that guy that is doing 12 to watch, we don't even get to see them often. Okay, you just see them scarcely, once in a while. And so, which means this guy, when he finishes 12 to 4 watch, so he's supposed to be sleeping from 4 to another 12 to 4, right? But that 4, that's when the rest of the people will just be waking up. You understand? That's why they will be closing their door, bang, bang. That will close the door, slam the door, and all that stuff. Before you know, his sleep is interrupted. By the time he's sleeping, the other guys who are doing day work, they start their work by 8 o'clock. So before you know it, they can start chipping.
It's affecting his own sleep.
It's affecting his own sleep.
Wow.
You understand? So cardiovascular issue from the fact that you are not able to rest, the fact that you are not able to sleep properly, or even if you are an engineer, you are on board on the watch, you are the one on duty. An alarm could wake you up in the middle of the night. You understand? Your sleep is just disrupted. Of course, there are policies in place that you should go and rest and all that stuff. But over time, the challenge is not the immediate stuff. It's the cumulative effect of that thing. You understand? So today, there is a research that was done that, when you sleep, there are rapid eye movement phase. That's a phase where you dream. And that if you wake somebody up at that phase, you wake them up at that phase today, you wake them up at that phase tomorrow, it can actually have a psychological effect on them. You understand? So if alarm wakes you up, maybe at that time, wakes you up today, wakes tomorrow. You up that. Thankfully, we don't keep, we do 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 as the case may be. So if you are on watch today, if you are on duty today, you rest the following day. But again, cumulatively, when you look at this thing, it has an effect too. It may have an effect. There is no scientific fact to back it up, but it may have an effect. I mean, the list goes on and on. You can even have mental issues. You understand? Because of the environment.
Yeah.
You understand? If food giving you an issue is another thing. You understand? So there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot.
Well, if you want to read more about that, get the book.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at
Let's
that. Let's talk about managing your health. It's
Yeah.
something you've said over and over and over again,
Yeah.
where you say, as a seafarer, you are first your own doctor.
Yeah.
You know, so managing your health as a seafarer and then safe practices on board. Can we just touch a few of that?
Okay. One thing I would say is if you're a seafarer, the best way to manage your health, if you have any underlying ailment, is to quit sea. It's harsh, but that's just the reality. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. The best way to manage your health, if you really want to manage your health, if you have any underlying ailment, the medical certificate or medical document that you have it only means that you are fit to work. It doesn't mean you are there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
It only means that you are fit enough to get our job done. All right? It's not a license that you are totally free and nothing is wrong with your system. So if you have any underlying ailments, the best thing for you to do is quit sea. Because if you have any underlying ailment and you now find yourself at sea in the middle of nowhere, knowing that you already have this, you are just putting yourself in harm's way. I once had a chief engineer who has prostate cancer. All right? And as soon as the guy discovered it at the early stage, the guy resigned. He said he wants to be working ashore so that he can monitor his health. Those are the options that you can take. And meanwhile, I have a say with another chief engineer who died of the same thing who eventually died of the same thing.
Wow.
You understand? Because he didn't have time to monitor it at the early stage. So the best way to do is managing your health. If you know you have any issue like that, just don't stay away from sea. If you have underlying medical condition, something that we've had people, I don't want to go into that details, but just if you have any underlying, the best way to manage it, stay away
from the sea.
Yeah, if you have any underlying, because the day that crisis comes, there may not be immediate help. You understand? There may not be immediate help. Okay? And another way to manage your health is at least know your background. Know your medical history. What are the issues that your parents have had? You understand? If your parents have had some hereditary, there are some sickness that are hereditary, it means that you too, you have the potential for having that. You understand? And so before it happens, you need to stay on top. You understand? Again, a way to manage your health as well is there are some, for example, you have sugar issue, blood sugar, or blood pressure, whatever it is, your case might be different. But there are some gadgets that you may need, specific gadgets you will need to check, to monitor. Go on board with them. All right? Because you can't tell if the ship has all that you need or not. So go with them so that at every point in time, you know how you are feeling, you know how your body is doing you, and you can raise alarm. Say, okay, this thing is not all right. I think I need to see a doctor in the next spot and all that stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. So what are the likely safe practices that should be one should note? Haven't talked about, okay, when you are going on board, some of these gadgets that you need to go with, you can go with them just to do the preliminary checks and constant checks from sugar level to blood pressure. But I think there should be other safe practices that a seafarer needs to know and practice just to stay out of.
Yes, that's actually a very good one, because on board there is what we call there's a document that is for safe practices. We call it Code of Safe Working Practice. Okay. So if you are a seafarer, inside that book you will see a list of best practices that you should follow in order to stay safe at sea. All right. So number one thing is go through that document. If you are doing anything, any kind of job, majorly, be routine job, there is guideline on do this way, do this way, do this way, do this that way. Code of Safe Working Practice is a document that you should, as a seafarer, you should be familiar with. So it lists everything. So if you do that, you are not going to really will you put yourself in harm's way. That's one. Another safe practice is it is a requirement that you be provided with what we call PPE, personal protective equipment.
Yeah.
All right. So your boiler suit, your safety boots, your safety glasses, So these are things you should put on. Your employer is required by law to provide for you, but it's your job to make use of it.
Make use of it.
So if the employer gives it to you and you don't use it, that's your problem. So safe practice is, sometimes we consider, as a seafarer, you may consider some of these things burden. Which one be this one again? Why do I have to be wearing this? Or helmet? It's just outside there I'm going now. Or glasses. What is going to enter my eyes in that place? And so, and you feel like it's an inconvenience. But when you look at the damages that could occur as a result of you not using it, it's better for you to just make use of that PPE and keep safe. Again, another thing you can do, or to safe practice, is most of the things we do on the ship, they have procedures. All right? If you follow the procedure like I always say, you can't get wrong by following the manual.
You can't.
You can't get wrong by following the manual. So you following the manual in itself is a safe practice.
Yes.
Follow the manual, follow the procedures.
Yes.
Follow the manual, follow the procedures. If you follow the manual, you won't get it wrong. I know that many times we want to learn, and sometimes ways to learn is to just, be adventurous. I've learned that way too.
Can you be adventurous in the sea?
Yes, you can be. I've learned that way too.
In the sea?
Yeah, you can be adventurous with some things, but you have to be able to, you have to be smart and knowledgeable enough to know that certain things are not worth taking risk for.
Yeah.
So you just weigh it. You weigh the option. So if you are knowledgeable about certain things, okay, I can do this, I can do this. This one, hey, what if this happens? What if this happens? You understand? Those are safe practices. I mean, just ensure that you don't, because the problem is, if for every documentation, every procedure, every manual, when you follow them, those things are alibi for you. People have done things on board that led them to prison. So you can go to jail. All right? But when you follow a manual, I follow this manual, I follow the procedure step by step, and there's evidence that you follow the procedure, you have just immune yourself from any legal implications that may arise.
Yes.
So those are safe practices in themselves. Following those regulations, following the procedure, it's a safe practice. You understand? Those are safe practices that you can adopt while you find yourself on board.
Well, don't get yourself in jail because you are not following the manual. Following the manual keeps you safe as well.
Yeah.
So maintaining good health on board as we finally wrap up.
Yeah.
What do you have to say on that?
I'm going to say that one of the ways we do is eat well. All right? Eat well when you're on board. You are what you eat. All right? So on the ship, like I said, for somebody that is going to spend 10 months on the ship in a year, so you know that it's not the 2 months food that you're going to eat at home that your wife cooked for you that is going to define your overall well-being. It's that food on the ship. And of course, nobody is paying attention to the details of your need in preparing food. So it's you that will now determine if that food is good for you or not good for you.
Right.
That it is available does not mean that you should eat it. You understand? That the food is available does not mean that you should eat that food. Okay? You can look for something else. You can eat something else based on you understanding yourself, like we have talked about, understanding your health, understanding what you need. So this food will eventually have effect on you in the long term. So you have to pay attention to it. In many cases, they just prepare food. Okay, we have this, but it may not be what you need. Again, in the aspect of food, you have to understand that as your rank goes up, your activeness reduces. For example, the people that are in the supportive level, the ratings, they are here, they are there, they are here, they are there, they are moving up and down. If they eat bulky food, they get to burn it.
Yes.
You understand? But as you go up in the rank, you become a captain, or you become chief officer, or you now become a captain, most of your job will be done behind this desk. So if you hit like that guy, you have nowhere to burn the food.
To burn it, yes, true.
You understand? So
very true.
Your input is more than your output. And so you can be doing more harm to your health that way. So if you are going to maintain your health, you need to eat accordingly. And of course, if you now decided that you are going to eat that much, you have to hit the gym. Thankfully, most ships have gym. And if your ship doesn't have gym, you can make something work for yourself. just make sure that you exercise yourself. You understand? So that intake you must burn it somehow.
Right.
So everybody that is working on board, as you rise on the rank, the level of your activeness reduces. You know, for me now, there are certain days of the month that I don't like. You know, I don't like once it gets into end of the month. Those end of the month, I tend to do paperwork and I sit beside the computer. We're like, when will I get out of this place now? You know, I can't wait to just finish and get out of it. I love something that will keep me moving and keep me walking. You know, so that's the thing. But then again, when you get up higher in the rank, this is inevitable. You still have to sit behind the desk. You still have to sit. But the job has to be done. Another thing is the gym that we talked about. Go to the gym, exercise, keep fit. All right? Those are the way you maintain yourself on board. And then sleep well. So, of course, you might close at work. Some of us, we can close at work as seafarers. You close at work, okay, even though officially you close by 5. But then you see somebody who watch movie till you now put one series movie. And then you watch the series movie till daybreak.
Wow.
And by the time you come to the engine room in the morning, your eyes is red. Or you go to 2-bus stock in the morning, your eyes is red. You didn't rest. So there is difference between you knocking off, going to your room, and actually resting. So you didn't rest. So you are not maintaining your health because you can actually, not only can you endanger, let's not even talk about the fact that you can endanger other people, you can even endanger yourself.
Yeah.
All right? You can, because your eyes is not very open, you can put your hand in one rotating machinery and think that the machinery is not running. You understand? So it's very, very important to pay attention to that. Rest well. So when you are when you're supposed to rest, make sure you are rested. Another thing to maintain good health is to read. All right? You
to keep your mental...
read. All right? Read. One of the things that you get, like I said, seclusion allows you the opportunity to do a lot of things. So you can be developing yourself.
Right.
You know, you can take on a course, you can take on a program, and you'll be doing classwork, and you'll be doing... Your mind is productive. Your mind is creative.
Yes.
You understand? You can do that. Not wasting time surfing the net, doing nothing. Just browsing, laughing on TikTok, and wasting precious time. You understand? If you are using that time, let it be something that is adding value to you. And by the time you do all that, all those boredom that we talked about, you can get rid of it.
Out.
You understand? You can, of course, you can use the time if you want. You can write. You can read. You understand? I think those are the ways you can maintain your health on the ship.
There you have it. I don't like coming to an end of a thing because it's been an interesting journey discussing this new book by Joshua Oyetunde. So you want to be a seafarer. Yes, I want to be a seafarer. So all the episodes are on this channel. If you missed anyone, please go back, look through them, watch, learn, share, comment. And like I said, the more you engage with this content, the more we are inspired to do some more. Thank you so much for joining. What should we expect next from you after this book?
I think we should have, we will be having a podcast on the Unveiling the Mystery of the Sea.
Unveiling the Mystery of the Sea.
I think it's something that every seafarer should know.
Okay.
You know, the spiritual perspective of walking at sea. What does it mean? The implication of it? Or do we just come to sea like that? You know.
Okay. Now you heard it, so we have something else coming. And maybe after that, there will be more coming your way. And don't forget, subscribe to the YouTube channel and set your notification button so that whenever we have a new content, you will be the first to know. It's been an exciting journey discussing about being a seafarer. And I hope you've been inspired in one way or the other, or you've been able to share this video to a friend, a family who intends to be a seafarer. Let's together build an industry that not just is looking for seafarers, but we are actively available to be employed as seafarers, seamen and seawomen, as the case might be. Thank you to our production crew, Elisha and Jackson, who have headed down from the audio to camera and the post-production team. Thank you so much, everyone. Until I come to your camera again, your screen, it's been me, your host, Unachi Sunday, a.k.a. Fresh Boy.